Well, as we said, the famous comedy of errors, it appears that Coach K, the head basketball coach, legend, coaches Duke, they were taking on Pittsburgh. They defeated them 79-67. But at one point during the game, there's a terrible misunderstanding involving the Pittsburgh coach because he is a former coach and player from Duke, right?
Yes,
all that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And this clip is courtesy of CBS Sports Network, and it'll start off, and you can kind of see what Coach K's doing and how he's screaming, and then they'll break it down for you about what happened.
All right, here it is.
How about number 9, Duke, also in action Tuesday night. They welcome Pitt to Cameron Indoor, a place the Panthers hadn't won in over 40 years. There'd be an interesting story coming out of this. 35-25, Matthew Hurt, Vernon Carey, the dunk. Now, second half. Going to the locker room, this is Coach K getting after the Cameron Crazies. That was the end of the first half. Now, start of the second half, he goes to the Pitt bench and apologizes. We're going to describe why this was. Meantime,
All right, then we go to what
I want to describe kind of what happened. At the end of the first half, Coach K was admonishing the Cameron Crazies for getting on former Duke star and assistant Jeff Capel, who's obviously now the head coach at Pitt. Evidently, reports are that the Cameron Crazies were yelling, "Sit with us," which is evidently something they say to former players, assistant coaches who bring their teams in. Duke is saying there was a misunderstanding between Coach K and the Crazies. Nevertheless, Gary, we saw him at the start of the second half, Coach K, go over to the Pitt bench and apologize. Not clear what there is to apologize about, because it seems to me maybe his reaction didn't fit just Cameron Crazies and fans having fun and doing that thing.
It was a weird visual. I mean, he was yelling as if something really bad had happened, and if the quotes that have been reported are accurate, that doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world to me. So I think at this point, and I'm confident Mike will be asked to clarify exactly what he heard, but I think the most likely scenario is that he heard something that they didn't actually say, because if that's what they actually said, I don't know how that could upset you to that level.
Yeah, so
Rick, he is screaming, "Shut up," as loud and as harsh as he can.
And then he goes against their
Then he
face.
goes over there and gets in their face and is screaming at them. I mean, I'm talking mad.
He's yelling one time, "He's one of us. He's one of us."
Right.
But now that only happens because Pittsburgh hasn't beat you in 40 years.
Right,
Okay.
right.
If it was a rivalry where they're beating you about every other time, you cut loose on them. I mean, I don't protect people who leave the fold. Right.
Right, yeah. And it sounds like what they were doing is something they always do. And what
His explanation really doesn't make sense that I'm reading. He said it was a mistake on my part, but I'd rather make a mistake in protection of my guy. I went to the end of the half and said, "Look, he's our guy." He said, "That said, I apologize, but let's think of a different cheer." I don't know. What's so offended by. So I know they're being.
And he ended
I would like
all
for
of
them
this-
to get a better cheer, to be honest, because it's not near offensive enough.
At the end of all
Thank
of
you,
this, he said Jeff can sit with me anytime.
So I don't even know what that.
Yeah, and
Well, he used to. He was an assistant coach.
I think I got Coach K here. I think this is it. I'm rolling
It's
here.
very strange.
You know, I don't know if I made a mistake on that, but I've never heard another coach's name yelled out in the middle of the first half when we're in a war with the team. You know, so I don't know if they were saying, "Come sit with me," or, okay, but, okay. Wow. I don't know. We got a different look at what the hell's going on the game. I thought it was something personal, because I've never heard. I apologize to the students for that. I don't apologize for the timing. Like, you shouldn't say that in the middle of the first half in an ACC game. This isn't some cutesy little thing where, we can just bounce a ball around and, giggle. We got to fight. We got to have people who are adamant about it. So,
Okay, that makes nothing. He heard them saying the coaches' names, and he assumed they were saying something offensive. And they told him what they were saying. He was like, "Oh, well."
Well, but
Again, this is something they say all the time.
Yeah, but not to Jeff Capel he was a Duke guy. He's coached there for 7 years. Coach K took this personal because it was one of his guys.
Right.
I know people have come and gone, but this was one of his main guys.
he
just heard his name. They're chanting his name, and he thought they were.
Yeah.
Well, and he's also making, it sounds like a point, he doesn't like the attitude of we're treating this as if we've won the game this early in the game. It would be like
Y'all,
it would be,
they usually do, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm talking about, but you know how coaches are. It'd be like Nick Saban's response
Yeah.
if all of a sudden midway through the second quarter, the band started doing that. We just beat the blank out of you, and he's like, the game has barely even started, and I know we're ahead, but this is not the time to do that cheer, and don't do it to a guy that used to play for us and coach for us. You know, you got to have some. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with him. I'm just saying that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
So he's saying, look, I went out to. I don't want us to treat one of our own poorly. I don't like us having the attitude that this game's not important. It's an ACC counter. It's early in the game. It sounds arrogant, cocky, and he just didn't think it was the right thing.
You didn't get a good the footage. Did we have any of the footage?
I saw one little excerpt of him screaming, but I didn't see
where
that.
he's really getting on them and goes up in front of him. He's screaming, "He's one of us." That's
yeah. This is a
I
guy.
mean, you got an enthusiastic crowd there. They have great home court advantage at Duke. You know, they've won a lot. They're a powerhouse.
Did their
They're
face?
blue blood.
Rick, they were cold. They were sitting there with a cold look on their face.
Right. So look, is that him?
He's telling him to shut up at this point, but then he runs over there.
Right. Oh,
At the end of
here-
this is where he goes.
Oh my goodness.
And he's saying he's one of us. He's one of us.
There he is. I see him say, "Well, look, there's the faces, Greg.
And he's
There's
beating
the
on
fa-
his chest.
Rick,
Oh,
cold.
my
I'm cold.
goodness.
I'm cold.
My goodness. My goodness. He's
Coach
mad.
K just called us.
Look, he's apologizing to him.
You see, little guy,
That's
he had
fantastic.
his jersey on and everything.
They didn't know whether to cheer. I want my face painted while I'm getting
He
called.
stood in line 3 hours, and now Coach K's dogging him.
Yeah, no,
he
those-
thought he was doing a really clever cheer.
Don't forget, too, I've got my picture of this guy in my room.
Yeah,
And he's sitting, and he's sitting there screaming at me. It's so good.
Back to my earlier point. Come sit with us. That's all you got. I mean, you got to get a little nastier than that.
Greg,
Come sit with. Hey, come sit with us.
You know, sadly,
Tell me to come sit with them.
this is where the ACC and SEC is totally different. We're used to the cheers being much worse.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, I did notice that one student was wise enough to go ahead and get his phone up to record the whole thing.
Yeah. I want to see that footage from the other end. Yeah. That's good.
But you know what you're talking about.
I've been to the gym, but I've been called.
I brought it. I wore my jersey in.
Please look at the
See,
kid with the wig on.
Yeah, I got a blue
and the
wig
shades
on.
right
there.
What about when you look the coaches on you
He's pounding his
They
shit.
all
I mean, bad.
for your own team?
Listen, they all love Coach K so much they can't believe it.
I know it. That makes it so good. I wish I'd have been there sitting right up from him. Oh, that's so funny. Well, I love when he's in the press conference and everybody's trying to get him to lay down a little bit on it, and then he finds just now. Look, it's no way to act. Look, that guy right there, he has.
And they're
his
trying
camera.
to figure out what's going on. Why is he hollering at us? What's he,
He's
what
screaming
do we
at us.
do?
Look at the guy that won't look at him. That's looking away. He's just so disturbed by it, I can't even look.
Oh, I'd have ran.
And that
He's
guy,
looking to see who's looking at him.
yeah,
while
and
they're-
that guy right there loves Duke basketball as much as any human.
probably
can.
got a tattoo.
Oh yeah,
He does.
He just loves it, and he's getting ripped by Coach K. But isn't that sort of honorable?
Yeah, I guess once the
Well,
dust settled.
I don't know if it's Coach K. I mean, if Bobby Knight rips you,
That's true.
That's a
Yeah,
badge
that's
of
true.
honor. But Coach
That's
K,
true.
Bobby Knight ripped most people he encountered.
Oh yeah,
You know.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach K really pounded that chest.
what about
I mean, he
when
really
Coach
hit
K
it.
rips you and he's got the wrong information?
I mean, he hits his chest
What
really
did he think
hard.
he was
What's
saying?
Speedy doing there?
I
Go back to
still
that
don't know
one.
what they meant by come sit with us. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. Just
Basically, you're one of us. Come sit with us.
some of you Duke folks,
Maybe,
can you
I
help
don't
us
know.
out with that
But
cheer?
that's not negative.
I know.
I want him to be.
Well,
I think that's what they were trying to tell Coach K.
But are they?
I mean, are they to the point they're cheering for Pittsburgh to win
I don't
or keep
know.
it close? I mean, how nice are they with opposing teams coming in?
Is what he's saying, or is the cheer supposed to mean when you go to somebody who used to be with you? Come sit with us because we're winning. You should.
Maybe that's
How
it.
does it feel not to be with us?
Okay, maybe
you know you
that's
want to
it.
be over
Hey,
here.
you know you want to be with
Hard
us.
to make your
yeah,
point with just that statement, but I
I know
guess that's where
they
they
need.
were
There's
going.
more clarity needs to be.